Morning, everyone. I mean, sorry, it's just about morning. Sorry. Um, and good evening, good whatever time it is. Anyway, okay, I'm just going to get right into it. Um, but before I do speak about what I was told and what it looked like, let me speak about something else. And there's also a warning. Um, anyway, I saw this, and it is so true. What would everyone do if everyone that's here was in the same house or had to be around everyone? And an argument starts. If God said if it was, just ones here or, everyone around the world had to be in the same place or home, what would you do if an argument started? What would you do? I'd like to know. I wasn't going to, say what I would do, but I will. How I would handle it, I would just, make an announcement and say, solve it before someone calls the police. Then I would leave, go find a spot, and go to sleep. Because I can sleep through that. And the reason why I know I can, see, I'm used to it. I grew up through it, where we lived. That's all you heard. And this way I wouldn't hear it. I went to sleep. So, what would you do? Anyway, while you think about that, there's also that I came across. Other than, all the other warnings that I've been given and, stuff like that, that everything needed to be solved and make the world better. This way we can live comfortable and better, and we're supposed to get along, etc., etc. Now, I've been saying about, all the stuff being contaminated and stuff like that. I mentioned, people, taking off, you know what? If you don't know what that is, go check my other videos where I said it, and putting it on food, stuff like that. Now, I don't know who these people were, but one of them was a butcher, and the other one, I guess, was interviewing or whatever. I don't know what it was because it was one of those short videos where, doesn't really explain things, or, there's another video. But I am going to look it up because I couldn't. I couldn't find any other videos about it. But what I'm about to say after this, I was getting a whole bunch of stuff. So I couldn't do it. Anyway, this butcher was explaining to this person what is done to meats. Doesn't matter what kind of meat. This way, it doesn't get bacteria, it doesn't get this, doesn't get that, etc., etc. And to, preserve it or whatever. Now, the thing is, the both of them, obviously, the butcher would have gloves anyway, but they had gloves and masks. So the person asked, why do we have to wear masks? So the butcher opened up the bag and said, because this stuff to preserve whatever is really dangerous. Okay. Now, what the F? And why? If it's so friggin' dangerous, why is this being put on meats? And put it this way, it's probably the same stuff that goes on to, that gets sprayed, onto foods, onto, wherever, in the waters, along with, all the trash and, other stuff that, the fish and whatever else is in there, it pollutes the water and etc. Why would you do that? That causes health issues, or death, and stuff like that. But do you do that to your food too? Or do you think that, you or someone in your family or someone is going to, skip it and get, the right stuff, as I explained in my other videos? No, that's not how it's going to work. People contaminate stuff and do stuff. It's not going to just go right over you or whoever and not for you to get it. So, if you brought back what our ancestors used to do to preserve and everything to make things a little bit last longer, if you brought that back, maybe, you wouldn't have to use all this dangerous and whatever for anything. The ones who do it, I like to know. You're all covered up. You have mask or whatever, this outfit, gloves, this way you won't get anything on you to harm you, or in, breathe it in or whatever. But I mean, you're protected. But if it gets out, or, gets wherever, onto something or whatever, people breathe it in. They're not protected. We're not protected. But at the end of the day, you have to take off all that protection. Do you think by then that all that stuff settled, or isn't still out there? Do you think you're still protected? No. So all that needs to be changed too. As in, stop using stuff that, I could see wearing glasses when you do, metal, you're in a metal shop, or, glass, the, what is that called? The counters, granite or whatever it's called, when you're cutting that stuff, you need protection. But that doesn't go flying in the air or wherever. I know somebody could solve all that, whatever field it is that things are being done. Anyway, let's get into what message I got. And as the title, it will trigger these ones. And then I put, messages, and it is from God. Because, but anyway, everybody knows that, more lies are being told on whoever, as I said before, and some others. You get innocent ones in harm, or worse. I mentioned ones who are under, the dark, that do dark stuff or whatever, lie about people, or do whatever. Or I should say, trying to do. By thinking, getting rid of the light, innocent ones, and etc. This way, all of you can control, or whatever, who are left or around. Think about that really hard if you can. At this moment, all the truth is coming out, and some have been caught. And that says God will not let anything happen. Just say, okay? For these people, what do you think how it would be if all of you were just here because you did what you all wanted? How do you think it's going to turn out? Really, and I mean really, think about that. And I could wait to hear your answer, but if I did wait, then this message won't get out. So think about that. Now, I want all of you, for once, to listen. I'm speaking about, well, anyway, for once, to listen. Sit down. Get something to eat and drink. Now make sure it's good. Like really, make sure. Because, what I'm about to say is something you didn't think through about. And I did say this before in other videos. So, okay, you ready? I'll wait a minute or a few. So, pause this and go get something to eat and something to drink. But like I said, make it good and don't forget the popcorn. I know it will take a little bit, but I'll wait a minute. Okay, now, all of you lie. Do all kinds of whatever. You know what you do. I gave awareness about stuff and much more. And some, or all, took all that to make it, or tried to do even more of whatever it may be, to try to harm or off innocent ones. Start arguments or whatever by lies. Contaminating water, food, disturbing those ones who passed away, and much more. Everything that is being done that will make it better around the world, to help ones, provide, to grow, do things with others, get food, go to the hospitals, doctors. You have ones who build, fix things, and much more. I think you get what I mean. Or where I'm going with this. Maybe. Don't know. But you will. Especially what I saw. Okay. We have all that. Every profession and whatever that they do. That they know how to do. They have what fits. They do what fits their purpose. Right? Every profession. Whatever you do. Right? We have laughter. We have food. We have a lot of stuff. We have ones who spread, messages to guide us to the right path. We have truth that tells the truth, especially from Spirit, God. We have the sun, the moon, the stars, and much more. We have plants, flowers to bring us, a colorful scenery. Right? We have beautiful skies, blue skies, and sometimes colorful ones. We have rainbows. We have rain. To keep our, plants and everything, nature, watered, to be healthy. I could continue what we have right in front of us and, to make it better, but I won't. I won't continue to make the list. So now, let's get to All of you. Why I said to get all that and sit down. Okay. Now, remember the places, you know, that you all worked at. That, some, whatever you were doing, instead of working, to ruin all the ones that aren't here anymore. The ones that, you've been trying to get rid of. For all of you who do to be the only ones here. So, remember the places that you worked at, but you used computers to do whatever. I'm not mentioning that list. I've been saying it since the beginning. What's going on. I don't need to, because all of you know. But just think who you ruined and offed, whatever. All the ones that aren't here anymore, except all of you. Ones who lied, contaminated stuff, abused the job, where you are, by creating whatever, making fake documents, getting ones to lose homes, companies, the ones who give out the truth with messages. And much more. Which you already know. So now, really think about all this. Like, really. Because I'm only going to mention a few things. What I was told. And only maybe bits and pieces of what I saw. Because what I saw, I'll leave it to your imagination. Along with, to help what I have and going to say. So, now tell me, now only all of you are left. And, all pretty much done the same thing. Only worked somewhere. Only did, let's say, magic. That was abusing their gifts to do bad intentions. That everything was all based on lies, repeats, whatever you done. It's not only with the magic and the other stuff that I said. And what I mean by, repeats, you only took what was bad parts from, the ancestors that you wanted to do, whether if it was, magic or not. You do magic, to take one's, person that is meant for them. Ones who knew companies to provide. To help provide. That all of you continue to do. For all of you only to be here. So now that all of you are here, knowing what all of you did and are doing, so now that all of you are aware, ones who made up stories, lied about whatever, did magic, whatever. Are you going to believe each other in what is told? Since you know that all of you lied and didn't really help anybody or yourself. So I ask, who is going to create the wood for warmth? Who's going to make sure the water is clean from, all the trash, all the chemicals that wasn't done? Because nobody wanted to put anything in trash cans, or, stuff went in the water, the ocean, whatever. So there's no trees left. They're dying, or they did, they did. And all those ones, that you worked for knew or knows about their company that you work for, that teaches you new things. So if you don't know how to do any of the professions, like I said, because ones who own the companies, who taught you, we're all, it doesn't matter what it is, all worked at isn't there to teach you. All that would be good, you know, for all of you is, you know, you'll have the men or women you're supposed to be with instead of your true ones. You know, if you took the time and did what you were supposed to do, and that, you know, you're one that's supposed to be meant for you, you know, if you were patient, you would have had. So, where will you get all of the non-contaminated food and etc.? Where would you get it? Because, you know, you don't know how to farm, you don't know how to plant, because you're not in that profession. What are you going to do? And all the contaminated food and everything, whatever, is all left. Where will the light come from? You know, the stars and the moon. The sun to shine, you know, during the day and at night. It won't be anything. There will be none coming from the sun, the moon, the stars. Because all that you kept doing, you know, disturbing the spirit, the moon, Mother Nature. To bring everyone down, except all of you. So where, you know, that's one of the stuff. I mean, you don't know every profession. So like I said, you don't know how to farm, you don't know how to plant. Plus, where are you going to get all the stuff for farming, the planting, you know? How's it going to grow if you don't have sun or water? Because it's contaminated. And at night, you know, how it shines and it's lit. If, you know, the stars and the moon isn't out. Because, like I said, you were disturbing spirit, the moon, Mother Nature, sending entities, you know, all kinds of stuff. So, just all of you are left. None of you know how to do, you know, whatever to keep things running. Because you only focused on jealousy, hatred, harming, speaking lies, gossip, all that other stuff, whatever you did. Sending entities. So you wanted to play by the dark. So all of you will have is darkness. Correct? That's what you wanted. Now I know I'm not wrong. Because what was supposed to be all naturally done was all forced out as all of you wanted. Right? Because you can't control anybody. You can't force anybody through magic or, whatever. But you like, spreading lies about people that aren't true. Well, you have a whole bunch of liars all around you that's been doing the same stuff as, all of you. That's what you wanted around you. So what are you going to do? I mean, first of all, to let you know, I know you had a big smile on your face because only all of you are going to be left. Did you really thought God of the light, who created us and the underworld, which is dark, to do that, to give all that to you instead of what is supposed to happen naturally? Did you really think that? All wanted to do, was to harm and much more, which was all done of the dark, right? So both said it will be granted. You know, all that I said, but you know, and not saying since all wanted that. So there won't be sun, the moon, stars, trees, water, food, and etc. What will be? Only lies, since all thought it will get you what you deserve. You know, and much more. But remember, lying is only for good reasons, okay? You know, to surprise somebody. If you're doing something that can't be revealed yet until it's done, it's not to be told, you know, every day. You know, an everyday thing to do to get whatever you want, you know, to get back at others, etc. You won't have anybody to, you know, guide you. You won't have anybody, you know, to do if you needed something, you know, that did that profession the right way to help grow, you know, to make it better. You won't have any of that. Only, you know, lies. So who are you going to ask for help? How do you know if they're telling the truth finally? You're not going to know. You all wanted to be there, so now you'll be stuck with each other. You won't hear laughter. You won't learn, you know, how to be treated because you didn't think about that to help yourself. You won't learn, you know, to, you know, protecting each other is better and telling the truth and speaking up, you know, to teach these people, you know, like you, a lesson, or, you know, you didn't want to do all that, like all the ones that, you know, aren't there anymore. Because you didn't want anybody to know what all of you were doing. Like people can't see it. So, how do you think you're going to solve anything? Because, like I said, all that you have around you are liars. Ones who abuse their gifts. And again, no water, trees, sun, etc. are around. You know, and all the ones, who knew their professions, that did by the light and was helping everyone to provide, to live comfortable, and etc. Because again, things are done through jealousy or whatever, thinking, oh, well, I should have gotten that position. Oh, I should have gotten that person. Oh, I should have, could have, whatever. Everyone is where they are. Because it fits what they're supposed to be doing. So, let me guess. Did it turn out how you thought? Oh, it's much worse, but I'm not saying. Except, did it turn out as you thought? And, you know, with all the karma that you could have solved, it will be all around you. As you want it. You know, to defend and learn on your own. And kept alive for a little longer. Till all the entities, not only them, but all the ones that were taken way too early, and because of that of whatever, to keep things hush hush, or not to get your whatever is being done, or whatever, or thinking that you're going to take their position, if they're no longer here, etc., etc. You'll have all that all around you. Like I said, plus all the karma that, you didn't solve in the first place. You know, They'll be there, like I said, to keep you alive long enough until they get tired of you. So remember that it will only be all of you that wanted it that way. You'll be in, complete darkness since you like to play with darkness, of the dark, and do things to harm or, steal, whatever you, whatever that was done that whoever God puts there. And you will have only contaminated foods that was left, that was done, intentionally or whatever, among other things that was done that way. So, is that how you thought that, that by getting rid of, doing things to innocent ones, animals, and etc. This way you can, take over or whatever, contaminate stuff, steal from people, etc., etc. You know, you thought that you would take over and live like, I don't know, a good life. No, you wouldn't. See, the ones that are supposed to help people and, that you're supposed to learn from, and continue whatever you learned to help others and take, the dark and the light naturally, to balance it. Well, all those ones that you got rid of, we'll have our own world, you know, living the limelight and, et cetera, et cetera. Not you. So, what would you rather have? What I saw, and that doesn't, what I just mentioned, it doesn't cover nearly all what I saw. What will happen? I only mentioned a few. And it's not how you thought it will be. So, when you rather, you know, if a person's not meant for you, say, okay, walk away. Then you'll know that, oh, okay, that's not the one. Whatever. Walk away and continue to make yourself better, make everything around you better, and, you know, go on the right path to find your right one. And then, have things balanced naturally. Everyone has a home, everyone has food, everyone, things aren't, raised to the roof where no one can, get anything. What would you rather have? You know, to walk away, that's something that you solved. And if they did anything or whatever, you walk away from it and let God handle things. If they've done something, I mean, put it this way, if they did something that, they're not supposed to, like, abuse you or whatever, you let the authorities and they can go and get help and let God handle it. How, what will happen. We weren't put on here, here to argue without solving. We weren't put here to harm people. We're supposed to take in and look and be proud of what everyone is doing together to make it better. And get what we're supposed to, learn. And whatever obstacle or initiation or whatever, naturally by the light and the dark. And let them do what really they're supposed to do. Instead of, well, living how I already mentioned, a little bit, where they're not going to do anything for you. They're going to take in the sun where there's no light, take in the moon and the stars that light up the sky at night. Just like you want it. From disturbing them constantly and doing things forcefully. And things not being done, because of, lies that, because of a whole bunch of stuff, things don't get checked out or whatever. Now, this is a message, that I got. So, like I said, I mean, it's not only for them, is, what side are you going to choose? The light or the dark? Lies or truth? And have, what you're supposed to learn, like I said, ideas given to do by naturally, to help balance things, or be forced to be or live like I said, as I mentioned. And everything that I mentioned, it's not going to be easy for all those ones. It won't be fun. Like, let's say, you know, going out with whoever or whatever, you know, having fun with them, speaking about people, having fun, get into people's business. Thinking you're having fun, that, others don't deserve it except for you, or, people don't belong. Or feeling comfortable, because before the karma started, you started feeling it, like really feeling it, you lived comfortable or whatever. But I guess the highlight or whatever, how you say, the limelight, going out, drinking, doing whatever, meeting more people to drool in, to be involved, that's not going to be there. You're not going to have things naturally. You're not going to have ones telling you the truth, This way you can live as you're supposed to, as you should. So, to say, first of all, God will not let them get any kind of glory, victory, not for a second. Before what I mentioned, that, everything that they will have. There will be no more innocence are doing stupid stuff in jealousy, revenge, etc., etc., there won't be anymore. But also, don't get me wrong, everything that I mentioned, God's not going to let any more of, innocence be taken, okay? But that doesn't mean what I saw, and most of it, I didn't mention. I only mentioned a few. That doesn't mean that God's not going to put you what I just explained. I'm not saying that it's still not going to happen, but you will be put there by God somewhere that is exactly like that. And you won't be able to get to any of us. So for us, continue to speak up, bring those ones down to teach them a lesson, their lesson. Not to be in people's business, to do harm, etc., etc. They can't get away with anything anymore. We have God, the light. Who wins every time. Remember that. It's time we bring back our goodness, kind, old school, respect, peace, the light, truth. And not let people get away with stuff. I mean, there's much, much more that we need to bring back. That is the good, for the good, to make it better. We need to bring that back in the name of Heavenly Father and Jesus. And do things naturally, the natural way. And teach. Others. Help others. And definitely teach all those ones that they overdid it, of getting away with everything. So let's continue to make it better around the world together. Like I said, with, you know, in love, as break bread together. Bring ones together to help each other, protect each other. Cheer people up. By saying a positive thing to them to help them. Instead of saying, oh, you don't do that right, or whatever. Like I said, people do different things. You could show somebody they can do it, but if they, figured out how to do it their way, but still get the same result, okay, leave them alone. They get the same result, but they made it easier for them to do it. We need to start being proud of people that accomplished something or made progress of something. And we also need to speak to ourselves how proud we are of ourselves. I'm not saying, arguments aren't going to, be done or whatever. But you need to know how to handle an argument. You need to learn how to solve it. And if you can't, well, walk away, think about it, or whatever. And like I said, an argument or an idea, whatever, instead of, doing revenge or harm or whatever, you might have the same idea, but it's told a different way. And if things that, was said a little bit more or added or whatever, well, make it fit in to what you both already, had, but didn't really listen and understand each other. So, this is something that you need to think about. And like I said, for all of them, it's not only like in my situation or whatever, the ones that are constantly continuing to do stuff, God will take care of. And I'm not saying that that's not going to happen, but it's not going to happen to us. As I said it, where all of us are all gone as He's wanted. That's not going to happen. You'll be somewhere. You'll be gone. But still alive. But there's no access to, to travel by water, because there won't be where yous are. Just as I said it, but even worse, because I'm not going to mention everything that I saw. And you'll have all the entities that you disturbed and sent. You'll have all the ones that, you got rid of, et cetera, all around you. So, you know, you better think about it. Do you want to live like that? Where, you know, you don't know every profession. You wouldn't know how to plan anything. You won't have any water or whatever. You know, you'll have all the contaminated stuff, you know, just as everybody, you know, wants to do, thinking that it's not going to get to them, you know, etc., etc. I don't need to go any further. So I hope this does sink in. And God's children, nothing's going to happen to them. Just as I said in the beginning, it's all of you that it will be placed in a place like I mentioned. There will be no more innocence or whatever, animals, whatever, will be going because of, you know, like I said, jealousy, forced, whatever. No. We all have a purpose and a mission to make it better. So we need to do that. And if you are of the light, you know what I mean. You know we can do it. None of this, no more BS and everything. To stop any of that. Telling truth, speaking up about ones, you know, that are doing stuff and they need to be taught a lesson and get help. Because they're not only trying to ruin, you know, and get rid of all of us. And how I explained it, you know, they think that they're protected by doing it, but, you know, they think that it's still not lingering, or they're not going to get the contaminated stuff. That's what they think or thought. They're only ruining it for themselves. So, as Team Empire, I know that we're done with all that. And we will make it better. We don't need to put up any more, you know, with, you know, BS and et cetera, et cetera. We're not that way. We're taking all what we're supposed to do all back. As I explained all through here. You know, it's okay that, you know, you don't know something. You find out. You know, it's okay to have, I don't know, um, not a breakdown, but, you get overwhelmed or whatever. It's okay. You just needed it. A crying spout, or, that's my way of saying breakdown or whatever, where you get tired. Well, it's saying, well, one, if you have a crying spout or, a breakdown or you're tired, that's God's way of saying, well, you need to, take a break and get all the negativity that you just, are just releasing, getting out of you to, refresh yourself of the new you. So we could do all that. And all those years where we should have been by now, now we are awake. As in, we need to start making it better. And we are seeing progress. And we will see a lot more. We could do anything and everything. And I am proud of everyone. And everyone matters. We are all enough. We deserve and we will live comfortable. We will be able to do more. Anyway, this is long enough. I hope this helps. And I'm sending lots of love, peace, light, positive thoughts. Coffee, tea, whatever you drink when you wake up in the morning. It's morning. To start your day. And it's going to be a great day. Because you woke up and have another chance to finish what you didn't do the day before. To continue with ideas and making the difference. Anyway, everyone have a great day. Ciao.